Jokes hat. Alright. Hey everyone, it's your boy Person here. Just kidding, it's Tom, aka Jokes here from the Smidwinders, bringing you another Xenoverse 2 video. So buckle up in your time machines, because this is going to be a long one. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to keep up with us as much as possible, not only should you follow us on Twitter at the Smidwinders, which I'll be sure to leave a link in the description for, also turn on that little notification bell. And thanks to Doug Killjoy for reminding us that that is an option. Minor Dragon Ball Super spoilers are in this video, just so you know. So if you didn't know, a couple days ago, a new Xenoverse 2 trailer came out. That's the reason for this video. It's something with TGS. I don't know what that means, to be honest. But I'm breaking it down. This is gonna suck. You remember my last breakdown? It was long. Yeah, that was like 8 minutes video. I think that was a 4-page thing. This is 8.5 pages. And now we're getting a minute in, so let's start, shall we? So the trailer starts with a black screen and bluish-gray smoke surrounding the message saying, begin quote, "The time has come for you to fight alongside those heroes," end quote. Next up, Trunky Boy in his black coat with like the fur collar. He appears on screen like in the anime art style, and he says this, begin quote, "Attention all proud warriors, have you ever considered joining Time Patrol? As a Time Patroller, you'll prevent history from being changed," end quote. It is here that we get to see a clip of Vegeta and Goku in their Whis training outfits, while Trunks is going to say something else, but real quick I want to put in, keep in mind this is weird because Dimps, if I remember correctly, did say that they weren't going to really do Dragon Ball Super stuff, and everything we've seen them so far, other than a couple Namek and other scenes, we've seen Goku and Vegeta only in their Whis stuff, and the main reason we can tell with Vegeta is because it's got gray instead of blue, and then Goku we can tell because of the giant blue wristbands, and then they both have the little symbol on their left pec. So Trunks then says this, begin quote, "Our duty is to protect everyone's memories and help return history to the way it should be," end quote. The scene transitions to Trunks for a few moments of just his anime art style again, and then it goes to a sort of college seminar room full of different races and a gym with a few more students. I think it was a Majin, a human or a Saiyan, and then a Namek. Wow, I just butchered that pronunciation. Trunks then goes on to say, begin quote, "We've got a school for honing your skills and a fully equipped shop," end quote. We then see a sort of plaza with tons of people carrying different things. One thing that does stand out a lot, though, is in the background there's a golden statue of the Time Patrol from X1. Is this just for those anime art style cutscenes? Hopefully the game shows your transferred character in those cutscenes, which they probably won't, since that'd be very difficult. Or it just doesn't show that statue during the cutscenes, because one, it'd be kind of weird going from seeing the hollow statue in the gameplay and then the golden statue in the cutscenes, and two, like, we don't want to see like our transferred character as the hollow statue and then the generic Time Patroller as the golden statue. Like, really? Trunks and the Supreme Kai of Time, you remember Short Pinky. They show up, and simultaneously they say this, "We look forward to welcoming each of you to the Time Patrol," end quote. We get to see the gold statue like below them as a sort of angled top-down view for a moment, and then we see a blank scroll fall onto a white ground in a completely white room and begin to unravel. It unravels, and Turles steps on it with his foot. No, we don't see Turles completely yet, we just see his boot come in. The camera pans up to show Turles eating a tree of might fruit, that little red thingy with all like the tentacle thingies coming off of it. It's weird. With Lord Slug's back in the background, which a lot of people might not have noticed, but I noticed it just from the gap of hair like over his shoulder. That was like empty area. So far it seems we'll be seeing lots of Turles and Slug working together for this. So, because we've seen lots of them like together in cutscenes and stuff for different trailers. The camera jumps to show Lord Slug with his creepy smile. And a black and purple fog kind of coming off of his crossed arm. Like, he's got his arms crossed in front of him, and like there's like kind of a mist thing coming off his arm, but it seems like that might be coming from the fists because of what happens pretty soon after this. And it's the sort of fog is going towards Mira, because Mira is like off to the side. So if we have Turles and then we have Slug, we've got like Mira down here. And the camera pans to show Mira for a little bit. Mira does like some kind of like fighting pose. I don't know how to describe that. And then he punches forward for no reason, really. And he also has that black and purple aura sort of thing coming off his fist, going down his arms. So that's why I think it's coming from the fist and not just like his arms in general. We get another look at Turles eating the fruit, and the camera jumps to like just right above them, with like a mix of different colors of purple, no black this time, so there's light and dark and medium purple in there, spinning like around the center of the screen, which says, begin quote, Dragon Ball Z Universe 2, end quote. Since the first view of Turles, Toa has been saying this, so like as soon as the camera jumps from Turles to Lord Slug, we start hearing Toa talk, saying this, begin quote, oh come on, why bother anyway? They're wreaking havoc, all across history well enough on their own, end quote. The DBX2 message on screen is engulfed in like purple fog, so it contracts, and it becomes like one milky yellowish white ball with like a thin purple outline just so you can actually see it. And then it appears to be floating like between Toa's hands, so all we see is like Toa's hands in the thing and then that ball there. The camera moves to show Toa sitting there, and the music gets like really high pitched because there's been like kind of slow music throughout this. We get a close-up of her face, and she looks at the viewer just as the screen goes to black with a new bronze message. Now you're gonna hear me describe that a couple times. Saying, begin quote, our mission is, end quote. The camera shows a close-up of Goku in his Whis attire with the sky purple and the city behind him is clearly not looking good. Goku then says this, begin quote, you wanna come with me? End quote. And the camera pans out to reveal X2's generic time patroller next to Goku, the purplish blue hair, you know. Begin quote, to save our heroes, end quote, appears on screen with the black background and bronze wording again. We see Toki Toki, the owl, and Supreme Kai Time sitting somewhere, I can't really tell where it was. And she has to say this, begin quote, I'll have a ton of missions for you when you get back, okay? End quote. Could that Goku scene have been from Dragon Ball Super? Because, like, though unlikely, it could be part of the Goku Black arc, which, like I said earlier, Demps did say that they weren't really planning on doing anything Dragon Ball Super related, but then this trailer, it seems to show off that a bit. It looks like there's kind of like the future city in the background. We've got kind of a destroyed-looking city with him, and Goku's in his Whis attire, which we know Goku only wears during Dragon Ball Super, because Whis and Beerus show up in Dragon Ball Super, Battle of Gods, and Fakatsu no F. And the scene with Toki Toki. So my guess here is that it's like a flashback, or maybe like an early cutscene of like soon after that, right before credits scene with Xenoverse 2, where we saw Trunks and your Time Patroller meet up with all these new people, and your Time Patroller just completely destroys them, and Trunks gets mad because he did that. So I'm guessing it's soon after that when she's talking about like, I'll have a bunch of missions for you when you get back. So it's kind of suggesting he might have gone somewhere, or she might have gone somewhere. It's not nice to assume genders. Like I said. So, right, like, yeah. The screen goes black, and in bronze again we see, begin quote, fight together, end quote. Trunks then says this, begin quote, my partner is currently en route to your location, end quote. As it shows, where to go, as it shows Trunks flying on planet Namek, and appearing before the Time Patroller, and for a moment, Lord Slug, but Slug disappears. I actually had to, like, look back and pause, play this a bunch of times, just so I could definitely get who that was. That was definitely Lord Slug. Begin quote, and protect history, end quote, flashes on screen, and, like, that's the, black and bronze thing again. And we hear Vegeta go, begin quote, I want you to try and kill me, nothing less, end quote. So it's kind of like that, like, initiating master sort of thing, you know, where you're getting a master for the first time, and he's like, fight me. He is wearing his Whis attire, of course. In the background, we can see Shenron's face in the sky, like in the corner, kind of, so like right right. Oh wait, I'm getting far away from the camera. There we go. Right, like up here. We don't see it completely, but we see it mostly. There's the giant mushrooms from Canton City we've seen a couple times. A sort of like floating maybe castle sort of thing. There's like a half diamond under it, and then the castle walls kind of, but we can't see inside of that right now. So that could be anything. And the ground is gassy with like a small little crater in the background. Nothing like major, but just like a sort of empty pond, puddle, big puddle. There you go. I'm going to end part 1 here. That's right, everybody. I'm going to split this into 2 parts because why not? Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at the Smidwinders. I'll say it one more time more slowly, at the Smidwinders. And also turn on our notification bells. Hope you enjoyed yourselves.